Welcome to our channel. The brightest stars in Hollywood don't always shine forever. Philip Seymour Hoffman and Heath Ledger. Two legendary names passed away, suddenly leaving behind a series of heartbreaking questions about the cost of fame. But could it be that the dazzling stage lights are the very thing that destroyed them? Hollywood, with its glamorous appearance and red carpets, hides a dark truth that few know about. Hardships in childhood, hidden addictions, and glamorous lives crumbling in silence. These are not scenes from a movie, but real stories, tragic tales that these stars have faced in their challenging careers. In this video, we will pull back the curtain and reveal the heavy price of fame. Don't forget to hit subscribe, like, and leave a comment below to explore the next shocking stories with us. A promising film talent in Hollywood, he contributed to cinema with performances full of depth and emotion. Although his life was short, the works he left behind live on in the hearts of audiences, making him a legend. However, behind his brilliant career and the spotlight, there was a life full of internal challenges and constant struggles. Born in Perth, Australia in 1979, Heath Ledger began his acting career at a very young age, with small roles in television shows. However, it was the early years in Hollywood that truly tested and shaped him into one of the brightest stars of his generation. Roles in films such as 10 Things I Hate About You, 1999, A Knight's Tale, 2001, and Brokeback Mountain, 2005 helped Ledger demonstrate his versatile acting skills. He was not just a romantic guy, but also an actor capable of embodying complex and psychologically challenging roles. However, it was his role as the Joker in The Dark Knight 2008 that truly catapulted Ledger to the peak of his career. Ledger's Joker was unlike any version before it, an incredibly brutal, cold, and dangerous villain, yet with an oddly magnetic charm. His performance is regarded as one of the icons of modern cinema, and he was posthumously awarded the Academy Award for Best Supporting Actor.
I think the girls with their nails done now.
However, behind the immense success, Heath Ledger constantly faced internal struggles. He once shared that embodying the Joker in The Dark Knight took an enormous mental toll on him. Persistent insomnia and the anxiety of completing the role led him into a spiral he couldn't control. To cope with these difficulties, he turned to tranquilizers and other stimulants, which had a severe impact on his health. However, the loneliness and fears he could not share put an immense amount of pressure on Ledger. He had turbulent romantic relationships, including his famous one with actress Michelle Williams, the mother of his daughter. Despite this, Ledger was always searching for understanding and peace in a world full of pressure. On January 22, 2008, the world was shocked to hear that Heath Ledger had passed away at the age of 28, due to an overdose of prescription medication. His death was not only a great loss for his family and friends, but also a shock to the entire film industry. Ledger's passing sparked a debate about the price stars have to pay to maintain their careers and fame. Could the constant pressure from the entertainment industry, with its relentless demands and strict expectations, be the primary reason that led Ledger down a path of self-destruction? Heath Ledger's life is a lesson about the harshness of fame, about the challenges that stars face throughout their career journey. However, it is undeniable that his works, especially The Dark Knight, have left a deep impact on the audience. Ledger's journey serves as evidence of the relentless pursuit of perfection in his work, but also as a warning about the consequences that can arise when one fails to find balance between career and personal life. Heath Ledger is a testament to the profound reflection of art on humanity. He was not only a talented actor but also carried within him pain and inner conflict. Though his career ended too soon, Ledger's legacy lives on in the hearts of his fans. His death serves as a reminder of the price of fame and the pressure that artists face. Behind every star, there is always an imperfect story. What we see on screen is just a small part of the reality. Ledger left a legacy that reminds us of the fragility of life. Philip Seymour Hoffman. One of Hollywood's greatest talents, won over audiences not only with his remarkable ability to immerse himself in roles, but also with his emotionally rich performances and dedication to every character. Films like The Master Doubt and Magnolia solidified his reputation in the film industry, offering complex and profound roles that few could deliver. Although he didn't possess the ideal looks of a leading man, Hoffman captured the hearts of viewers with his authenticity, proving that true talent transcends conventional standards of beauty. Thanks to his ability to portray multi-dimensional conflicted characters, every role he took on felt vivid and unforgettable. He didn't need to shout or show off. With just a glance or a subtle gesture, he could convey an entire deeply nuanced internal story. However, behind the glamour of a film star was a life filled with challenges and inner conflicts. Philip Seymour Hoffman not only faced professional pressures, but also struggled with significant personal hardships. His story is a reminder that even the most talented individuals battle their own demons, often hidden from the public eye. Growing up in a family marked by turmoil, Hoffman faced many hardships from an early age, challenges that not everyone in the entertainment industry could fully understand. Despite being recognized as one of the finest actors of his generation, he was not immune to the emotional scars life handed him. Behind his illustrious career was an internal battle he fought throughout his life. Hoffman stood out not only for his professional achievements, but also for the resilience he showed in navigating the struggles and hardships of his personal journey, proving that true strength lies in overcoming adversity. Despite his exceptional talent, his life was far from easy. One of the greatest battles he faced was his struggle with addiction. Although he triumphed over it and managed to stay sober for over 20 years, the shadow of his past was not easily shaken. Addiction had been a part of his life from a very young age, and despite significant efforts to overcome it, it continued to linger, filling the gaps that he could never completely fill. His journey was a constant reminder of the fragility of success and the ongoing fight against personal demons. In 2012, after a period that seemed to mark stability, his addiction resurfaced, pulling him back into a dark spiral once again. In 2014, at the age of 46, Philip Seymour Hoffman was found dead in his New York apartment from a heroin overdose. His sudden death was not only a great loss to the film industry, but also a shock to his fans and colleagues. Hoffman's passing sparked a debate about the hidden dangers of addiction, a problem that knows no age, fame, or personal achievement. His tragic end serves as a stark reminder that even the brightest stars can be consumed by their inner struggles, leaving behind a legacy that is both inspiring and heart-wrenching. Although he devoted his entire life to his craft, it was ultimately his inner struggle, one that he could not overcome, that ended his life. Hoffman's death made the public realize that no matter how successful one becomes, mental demons can still destroy everything, career, fame, and all. Philip Seymour Hoffman's passing was not just a great loss for cinema, but also a powerful reminder of the price of fame and the invisible pressures that artists must endure. His story underscores the harsh reality that even the most accomplished individuals are vulnerable to the battles they face within themselves. It is the devastation that addiction can cause not only to the individual suffering from it, but also to those around them and the industry to which they contribute. Hoffman serves as a poignant example of how no matter how great one's talent, internal struggles can push someone toward collapse. His death reminds us of the critical importance of recognizing and addressing mental health issues, especially in an industry filled with pressure, temptation, and constant demands. It highlights the need for support systems that can help individuals navigate both their professional and personal battles. Hoffman left an indelible mark on both his fans and the global film industry. However, his life and death serve as a reminder that fame does not always bring happiness, and sometimes it becomes a colossal burden that the person who possesses it cannot escape. Philip Seymour Hoffman's story is a lesson in the necessity of confronting mental health issues and realizing that behind every shining star is a human being facing their own struggles, often unseen by the public. His journey teaches us that even those who appear to have it all may be silently fighting battles we cannot imagine. Both Heath Ledger and Philip Seymour Hoffman stand as vivid examples that career and fame cannot mask hidden pain. They fought their inner demons, and in many cases those struggles went undetected until it was too late. Their untimely deaths leave behind invaluable lessons about the importance of taking care of both mental and physical health. Their stories serve as a stark reminder that no matter how successful or celebrated the internal battles that individuals face must not be overlooked, and seeking help is essential for survival. Especially in an environment full of pressure and temptation like Hollywood. We can learn that behind the brilliant successes and perfect performances, people also need to be cared for and looked after not only by the public, but also by themselves. Both are models of sacrifice for passion, but they also serve as a warning about the risks that fame can bring. As a rising star of Hollywood, a promising talent with exceptional acting abilities, he captured attention not only for his perfect appearance, but also for the depth and emotion he brought to his roles. Phoenix is regarded as the star of a new generation, a symbol of talented actors following in the footsteps of legends like James Dean. The powerful stillness in each of his performances, particularly in Stand By Me and My Own Private Idaho, has made audiences reflect on the emotional depth he conveys without the need for shouting or showmanship. Each of his scenes showcases a natural, captivating acting style. However, behind the glitter of a movie star, River Phoenix's life was filled with contradictions. He grew up in a liberal family where music and freedom were highly valued, but that environment also contained its temptations. As a lover of freedom, River could not escape the allure of drugs, an issue he could never overcome despite his success. These emotional wounds could not be healed by fame or the love of the public. Despite his ability to act on screen with all the subtlety and maturity, River still faced inner conflicts that he could not share with anyone. On the night of October 31st, 1993, at just 23 years old, River Phoenix passed away after consuming a mixture of heroin and cocaine at the Viper Room Club in Los Angeles. His sudden death was not only a great loss to the film industry, but also a profound warning about the harsh reality of addiction and the pressure that fame can bring. While River Phoenix left a lasting mark on the world of cinema, his passing also serves as a reminder of the darker sides of fame and how at times they can be swept into a whirlpool of temptations that are impossible to resist. The image of River Phoenix remains a broken monument, an unanswered question about how we can protect dreamers, those who bring hope to the world, but are ultimately defeated by the very pressures they face. His death serves as a reminder that even the brightest stars are not immune to the temptations and dangers of the very things that can lead them into the abyss. Whitney Houston. One of the legendary voices of the 20th century, was not only a famous diva, but also a global music icon. With her powerful and emotional voice, she won the hearts of millions and broke countless music records. The song "I Will Always Love You" became a timeless symbol, showcasing Whitney's talent and far-reaching influence. However, behind that brilliance lay a life filled with turbulence and tragedy, struggles within her soul that few ever saw. Whitney Houston's relationship with Bobby Brown, although starting with intense love, gradually turned toxic, pulling her into a spiral of addiction that was hard to escape. She struggled with drugs, alcohol, and long-standing psychological issues, causing her to lose control of her life. While her career remained admired, her increasingly erratic performances and the loss of the sharpness in her golden voice, once the hallmark of her fame, became evident. The rumors and media criticism not only worsened her battle with addiction, but also drew her into a prolonged psychological struggle. While fans only saw the dazzling stage lights, they couldn't understand the pain behind them. On February 11, 2012, a tragic event unfolded. Whitney Houston was found dead in a bathtub at the Beverly Hills Hotel at just 48 years old. Her death, due to drowning along with the presence of cocaine, alcohol, and prescription drugs, sent shockwaves through her family, friends, and the entire music world. Whitney's passing was not only the loss of a major star, but also a deep sorrow for those who loved her. Whitney Houston, who once shook the world with her divine voice, has now become a tragic story of fame. The question that remains is, how could such a monumental music icon like Whitney leave us in this way? Whitney Houston's life and death serve as a profound reminder of the price of fame and the dangers that many artists face in the entertainment world. With her innate talent, Whitney left an indelible mark on the global music scene. But it was the invisible inner battles that pulled her down, leaving a deep wound not only in the hearts of her fans, but also creating an irreplaceable loss. The life and death of Whitney Houston serve as a reminder of the price of fame and the dangers many artists face. She was not only a music legend, but also a victim of unseen inner struggles. If you agree with this view, comment 1, and if not, comment 0. Enjoy the video and don't forget to like, share, and leave a sub to support us. Both River Phoenix and Whitney Houston stand as vivid examples that fame, while it can bring glory, also comes with a tremendous burden. Beneath the dazzling stage lights, these stars faced invisible inner struggles, moments of loneliness and dependency on drugs and alcohol, which ultimately prevented them from maintaining their lives and careers. From promising beginnings, they were overwhelmed by external factors, leading to tragic endings that left the world in deep regret.
I think the girls with their nails done now.
Their stories are not only reminders of the harsh reality of addiction, but also serve as a profound warning about the immense pressures stars face in the entertainment industry. The endless demands from the public, the sky-high expectations from the media, and the loneliness amidst the crowd created pressures that not everyone can bear. Despite their extraordinary talents, both River Phoenix and Whitney Houston were unable to escape the invisible battles within their souls. Their lives stand as a powerful lesson on the necessity of protecting mental and physical health. Especially in a world where creatives must constantly balance the spotlight with the dark, lonely nights. They are great talents, but they are still human, and their stories remind us that sometimes fame and success can be a double-edged sword. No talent should have to leave too soon due to pressures that are unbearable, and none of us should forget that even the brightest stars can fade if they are not properly protected. Lindsay Lohan was once the queen of teen movies, especially with her role in Mean Girls, a film that captivated the world and turned her into an icon of a generation. With her innate talent, alluring appearance, and a promising career, Lindsay seemed destined to conquer Hollywood. However, behind the glitz and glamour, her life was filled with turbulence and shadows that few knew about. Growing up in a troubled family, Lindsay faced public battles and constant conflicts with her parents. These issues not only created tension in her personal life, but also made it difficult for her to cope with the fame she was never truly prepared for. Though beloved and respected for her talent, Lindsay had to bear the enormous pressures that not every star can overcome. Her career began to suffer significantly due to a series of scandals. From being arrested for driving under the influence battling drug addiction to multiple stints in rehab, Lindsay became the center of media and public attention. Instead of receiving support from Hollywood, she was turned into a media phenomenon, criticized and dragged down under the spotlight. In moments of honesty, Lindsay admitted that she used substances to numb the emptiness and loneliness she didn't know how to face. Fame, instead of bringing joy, only deepened her internal struggles, leaving her trapped. However, over time, Lindsay found stability in her life.
With their nails done now.
After years of struggling with personal issues, she married and welcomed her first child in 2023. Currently, Lindsay resides primarily in Dubai, staying away from the spotlight and public attention. She is no longer the symbol of rebellion she once was, but is gradually rebuilding her life with dignity and a more mature perspective on herself. Lindsay Lohan's story remains a profound warning about the price of fame. When a talented child is turned into a public commodity despite enduring major ups and downs in life, Lindsay is now finding peace and rewriting her own story. The suffering she has gone through serves as proof that fame doesn't always bring happiness, and sometimes it can become a burdensome weight, especially when one is not ready to face that fame. One of Hollywood's most iconic figures, she was not just an actress but a global symbol who redefined sensuality and allure in the film industry. With platinum blonde hair, ruby red lips, and a captivating figure, she won the hearts of millions and became one of the most recognizable faces of the 20th century. However, behind that enchanting beauty was Norma Jean Mortensen, a woman filled with sorrow and lacking love, whose life's hardships slowly destroyed her from the inside. Marilyn Monroe's childhood was filled with misfortune. Broken homes and long years spent in orphanages led her to experience loneliness and a lack of affection at a young age. Love and stability were foreign concepts to her, leaving Marilyn's life constantly filled with emotional scars. Despite her captivating beauty and acting talent, Hollywood only saw her outward image, never taking the time to understand the deep soul of a woman yearning to be recognized and to take on roles with depth. Marilyn Monroe didn't want to be just a blonde doll, a sensual icon that Hollywood could exploit to grab attention. She longed for more than that, but instead she was pushed into unavoidable contracts and a life full of pain, with tranquilizers and anti-anxiety medications being her only means to continue working. Hollywood ruthlessly exploited her image, leaving Marilyn with loneliness, insomnia, and the emotional scars of broken marriages. Her life grew increasingly worse, and on August 5, 1962, Marilyn Monroe was found dead at her home in Los Angeles at just 36 years old. Her death left an emptiness in the hearts of her fans, and was not only the loss of a star but also a symbol of the cruelty of the film industry. Marilyn Monroe, while being an icon of sensuality and beauty, was also a victim of Hollywood itself. Her death serves as a warning about the tremendous pressures and devastation the industry can cause, not only to bright stars, but also to the dreams crushed beneath the spotlight. Marilyn Monroe paid a heavy price for fame, and her story remains a reminder of the cost of shining too brightly in a world full of temptations and dangers. The golden boy of Hollywood, who captivated the world with his role in Home Alone, the classic Christmas film in which he became synonymous with the image of an innocent, clever, and lovable boy. As a standout child, star Macaulay became a global phenomenon at a very young age, winning the hearts of audiences who followed every step he took. However, behind that image lies a story far from joyful a journey, filled with pain and struggles of a child growing up under the harsh spotlight. Growing up in a tumultuous family, Macaulay not only had to face early fame, but also the overwhelming control of his father, Kit Culkin. His father saw him as a money-making tool, and the pressure from this took a toll on Macaulay's childhood. Despite the massive success and adoration from audiences, Macaulay never experienced a normal childhood. The days spent under the spotlight were not just about glory, but also a heavy burden that he had to carry throughout his youth.
I think the girls with their nails done now.
At the age of 14, feeling exhausted and unable to endure any longer, Macaulay decided to step away from Hollywood, hoping to regain the privacy and peace he had lost. However, the years that followed were far from easy. Rumors about addiction and mental struggles began to spread, making him the center of media attention, even though he was no longer the star he once was. Despite these challenges, Macaulay Culkin managed to overcome the difficulties and find peace within himself once again. After years of struggling with his past, he married in 2021 and welcomed his first child in 2023. While his life today may not be as glamorous as it once was, at least he has found stability and happiness in his personal life. Macaulay Culkin's story remains a profound reminder of the price of early fame and the scars it leaves behind. Not every child star can escape the wounds of a childhood crushed under the spotlight of Hollywood. What we see on screen is only a small part. Behind it lies unseen struggles, wounds that only those involved truly understand. Macaulay Culkin has conquered himself and found peace, but his journey is a lesson about the harshness of fame and the necessity of protecting the childhoods of young stars. Charlie Sheen was once one of the brightest stars on television, especially with his role in 2.5 Men, where he became the highest-paid actor in the television industry. With his witty style, boundless energy, and ability to captivate audiences, Sheen quickly dominated the small screen and became an icon of success. However, behind the glamorous image of a TV star was a life filled with chaos, something no one could have imagined. From a young age, Sheen immersed himself in a lifestyle of excess, filled with partying, drugs, and tumultuous relationships. He proudly wore the label of the bad boy, a typical image of Hollywood stars. However, when the spotlight faded, Sheen's personal life crumbled under a series of scandals, allegations of violence, and legal issues that made it impossible for him to maintain the solid career he once had. In 2011, after a series of bizarre interviews and unpredictable behavior, Charlie Sheen was fired from 2.5 Men, the show that made him famous. This shock marked a painful turning point in his career, as the image of a shining star was replaced by that of someone criticized and viewed through a negative lens. By 2015, Sheen publicly admitted that he was living with HIV, a revelation that shocked not only his fans, but also the entire public. This was a turning point in his life, as the truth about his personal health issues was finally revealed. Although Sheen's fame had been overshadowed by scandals and poor decisions in his life, he remains a cautionary tale about the price of fame. Fame doesn't just come from the industry, it also comes from the invisible monsters he carried within his inner demons, fears, and pressures that he couldn't share with anyone. The stories of Marilyn Monroe, Macaulay Culkin, and Charlie Sheen are all valuable lessons about the harsh realities of fame. They were all great talents, but each of them had to pay the price for their success through difficult inner struggles. These stories serve as reminders that behind the spotlight, the glamour and the applause, there are pains, loneliness, and burdens that only those involved truly understand. Hollywood, with all its glitz, can also be a place that hides invisible wounds, making it difficult for anyone to fully overcome the pressures of fame. So we've covered the stories of 10 talented actors whose careers and lives were destroyed by drugs. While they have left a profound mark on the film industry, the heavy price they paid cannot be denied. What are your thoughts on the devastation addiction causes to stars? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss the exciting videos coming up next.